everyone, this is Peak Entertainment and we are back again. I'm going to do a quick match review of the recent encounter between Arsenal and Fulham, and as always with these match reports, I will be talking about the match detail in depth. So if you don't know the result and you haven't seen the match yet, I advise you to stop watching now, go away, catch up on the highlights, and then come back and watch this video, because we'll be talking about everything that went on within the match. And overall, whilst not as good as performance as the previous match against Fulham, overall the result is what matters, and Arsenal continued their good start to the season by beating West Ham 2-1 at the Emirates. And overall this was a match where really the result outweighed the performance. It was a very average to moderate performance from Arsenal, and actually if you think about it, West Ham could have a case for being the superior team, especially in the second half. They were very resolute, very tough, very dogged, very difficult to break down, and Arsenal just couldn't really get any fluidity or energy instilled into their performance. It was a very kind of struggling display from the team. Nothing really connected as much. The players that performed so well in the opening game against Fulham didn't really get the performance going throughout the match. So it was a very nervy and very anxious performance throughout, but overall they still got the job done. So the match began really, as I mentioned, just a very middling phase. Both teams are really just getting on the ball without making too much of an impression at either ends of the pitch. We eventually got the first goal, a through ball to Aubameyang, and then he did a great cross for Lacazette to head into the top corner for the first goal. It's always good to see Lacazette getting the goals. He scored last week against Fulham as well. I know there's been this ongoing debate, should he stay, should he go? I think in general Lacazette wants to stay. I think he likes playing for Arsenal, but of course he can justify his selection even more by scoring consistently. And I've said in the preview video that you can also check on my channel that he is a striker that needs service. Give him the service and I do believe that he will get you more goals. So it was a great header. They did query the goal because there was a question of offside. If you look at the through ball play to Aubameyang, he's very much in level with the last defender. Again, it's one of those cases where they look at the foot of the defender and whether it's an inch or two ahead of the striker or behind the striker. Again, I think it's just again an example. They need to really revise this offside rule. I personally think there should be daylight between the defender and attacker before you call the offside, because I think you should encourage attacking football. We should always strive for more goals to be scored, but when it's those finer margins, I think it just looks ridiculous that they're checking it. There's literally no advantage being gained by your foot being half a millimetre ahead of the defender, but they checked it, VAR approved the goal and it went through. And again, just another average performance from Arsenal. They were getting on the ball, had it in West Ham's half, but not really making too much of an impression. And then West Ham equalised really on the counter-attack, wide on the right, crossed it in, and it was tapped in by Antonio, who himself I think performed very well. He was very much of a troubling presence for the Arsenal defence all throughout. I think Rob Holding really struggled to get a hold of Antonio, who's a big tall unit. You know, he was using his aerial presence very well. He's becoming very much of a nuisance at the back for the Arsenal defence, and they were struggling to contain and get hold of him. So yeah, I think West Ham, they deserve to go in at the break 1-1. We go into the second half. Again, a very average start by both teams, to be fair. West Ham had a very good chance when Antonio hit the crossbar with a cross, and then Leno had a time when he came out to claim the ball, and I think he jumped over, I think it was Ceballos, and he slipped the ball, and again it threatened to score for West Ham. And to be honest, Leno had a few dodgy moments throughout this match. You know, there were a couple of times when he was coming out too early, he was coming out for crosses, not claiming the ball, for corners, not claiming the ball, and I think that may have affected the confidence of the team, because if your goalkeeper is having an off night, then your defence is going to feel worried that every time there's a set piece or a cross coming in, that the goalkeeper makes a mistake. So it makes the defence less secure. So I know there was this ongoing debate whether it should be Leno or Martinez starting in goal for Arsenal. That debate was settled, of course, when Martinez went to Aston Villa. Again, no problem for that. He just wanted first team football. Arsenal couldn't guarantee him the first team football, so he went to Aston Villa. So no problems there. So I just think not the best of performances from Leno, but the defence coped with it well enough. There was another controversial point when Gabriel, there was a shout that maybe there was a penalty West Ham were claiming for. If you look at it, the ball's come in. It's one of those where he's gone to head the ball, it's missed it, and then it's kind of slid off his shoulder and onto his arm. And I think this is again back to the interpretation of the handball. I think the ruling is that even if it's accidental, if the ball hits the arm in the box, it's a penalty. And I think that's what West Ham were claiming for. Gabriel hasn't moved his hand towards the ball. It's just a case missing the header and then it's just slid onto his arm. Now, they took it to VAR and again, they didn't claim it to be a penalty. So at the end of the day, they followed the process. But if you want to accuse VAR of not being competent in this case, particularly if you're a West Ham fan, then that's fair enough. So that was a major controversial point. And then the match went on, and I think after a while, Arteta saw that Arsenal weren't really making any headway, so he took off Lacazette, brought on Nketiah, and it proved to be a good substitution because straight away we saw great play by Saka as he played it through to Ceballos on the width, who squared it off for Nketiah to tap in to make it 2-1. And that was really it, really. Arsenal then, they had a few nervy moments, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video. West Ham continued to press forward. Arsenal looked a bit shaky at times, but overall they saw the match through and brought home the victory for 2-1, which I believe still makes them top of the table, I believe, on goal difference. But again, it's one of those where the result outweighed the strength of the performance, and you're going to need games like this. You're going to need games when, if you're not playing well, if you're not struggling, all of the players that were firing so well against Fulham didn't really hit their stride this time round. Aubameyang, you know, all the hype around his recent contract signing, he was really a periphery figure for most of the game. He drifted out wide. They play him out wide a lot of the time because they want him to get on the ball and then cut in, and then he can strike with his right foot. But he was just on the edge, really. Became a lot isolated at times. He had one good effort late in the second half. He hit it very hard and firm, but it was straight at the goalkeeper. But apart from that, there wasn't really a lot of involvement from him. I think Lacazette did well again. I want to keep Lacazette. I know a lot of people say he should go. They want some more money coming in so we could buy some more potential signings. But I think, as I said before, if you keep the supply line going, I think Lacazette could score you more goals. I think Ceballos did okay. Willian did alright as well. Nothing too special on there. You know, it's hard to judge. He's only his second game, so we need to see a run of 5-10 games to see how impactful his signing will be as well. But overall, as I mentioned before, not as good a performance as last week, but you get the job done, you get the result. That's all that matters. So of course now we'll go forward to Liverpool, which we will have to definitely play infinitely more better than what we did here. So that will be the big test to see where this club is heading. I think at the moment 2 wins out of 2 is great. When it's against Fulham and West Ham, you'd expect to see those results, so not to get carried away. We'll see against Liverpool how we perform, and really that will tell us where the team is. I still think we need at least 2-3 signings. We need to decide what players we're going to get rid of. You know, Guendouzi, Kolasinac, Torreira. We need to, you know, really confirm all these errors. I'm not going to talk about Mesut Ozil. I don't think he's going to go. That's just going to be an issue and ongoing throughout the season. But again, there are issues within that squad that Arteta needs to really address and get sorted out. There's not long now to the transfer window end, so he really needs to confirm who he wants to stay and who he wants to bring in. So that's overall my thoughts on the match report between Arsenal and West Ham. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you very excited for this season? Do you think this was a bit of a wake-up call, telling us where we really are and that we've got more stages to go through before we can really say what we can really challenge for this season? Or are you excited? Are you very happy that we've won 2 out of 2 so far? And are you feeling very positive about where the team can go throughout for the rest of the season? So those are my thoughts for now on a very resolute victory for Arsenal over West Ham. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please hit those like and subscribe buttons and help me continue to grow the channel in the long run and provide you with more content. That's it for now. Take care of yourselves, stay at safe distances, and I will see you very, very soon.